Almost 20 years ago, I realized something big is going to go down, and now it's approaching even faster. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Thank you for watching this video. My name is Da Vinci Jeremy. I'm in the pipe 5x5. I'm back here in the studio recording videos and providing videos for you guys today and for the rest of the summertime. I think I might be going to Bali actually sometime in August, but I'll let you know when that is finalized. Anyways, with that said, oh man, it's been a crazy 2 weeks off as we saw Bitcoin, pump to like 123. Look at Ethereum, man. It's 3,700. I knew it was gonna do something like just to wipe out the 4,100 people who are sitting there with their shorts thinking, yeah, it's going to zero. And that's how they can get wiped, right? But they, with that said, right, I will be talking about trades and all that stuff at the end, near the end of the show. I want to talk about how I see something big coming down. Now, back when I first started doing YouTube videos, I realized something, that our current monetary system is a fake system of money. It is a system of money that robs everyone. It's a scam, basically. And once I realized that, and I realized what this has been done before, and I've seen what happens at the end, I got really scared. I started to panic. And I got really depressed. And I thought, man, there's no way people are going to see this, because most people are just too busy with their lives. And so I figured I'd just help as many people as I can with my YouTube channel. And now I see what I saw back then slowly coming to fruition. What is that? It means that the most evil and vile people at the top get to take over the rest of us. And how do I know that that's happening? Well, it's really simple. Epstein Island list. You don't have to say anything else after that. You can see that the president is most likely on that list because, the people who are behind him are people who were living right beside Epstein and were best buds, the neighbors. This is ridiculous, right? So obviously, right, they're there at the top. They're already there. And things are going to get worse before they get any better for the average person. And if you don't buy Bitcoin and save Bitcoin, right, AI, right, and Bitcoin, and the fact that these guys can print money, and you can't, will wipe you out. All these things will wipe you out. So if you buy Bitcoin, you can protect yourself. If you buy Bitcoin, you can protect yourself. I don't care if you say, well, I can't afford a Bitcoin. No. Yes, you can. You can afford small fractions of a Bitcoin. You can afford, Satoshis. And I get it, right? You don't see that you can get a lot of Bitcoin, but you can get a lot of Satoshis, millions of them, right? So you need to do that before the end comes. Because when the end comes, there's going to be only have-yots and have-nots, right? The end result is very bad. This is why they're talking about UBI and all that kind of stuff. You don't want to be there. You don't want to be there. And here's the thing. You need to learn how to save. And I think we're going to put together courses on that because a lot of people just don't know how to save. They just, did you know I have two other brothers? I don't know if you know this. And obviously my parents and stuff like that. They all knew about Bitcoin. I told them. They understood. They got some. And you know what happened? They sold it at $50. They don't have any Bitcoin today. And on top of that, they're not the only ones. Just keep that in mind, right? of my friends and stuff like that that did the same thing, right? On top of that, when my brother, one of my brothers, found that he had a Bitcoin at 30K, what do you think he did? Did he save that? No. He immediately spent it. He forgot it, and then he took it out and remembered it, and then saw it, and then took it out and spent it. You don't know how to save. A lot of people don't. A lot. Right? So, with that realization, right, I have to change something. I'm going to have to move towards teaching savings, because that is the key. You need to learn not to spend money. And I know it's hard, because I can go out and buy it. For example, on the weekend, I felt like buying a, what's it called? A Cadillac Escalade. Can I do that? Yes. Can I afford that? Yes. Right? I can pay cash. Here you go. Right? Buy dozens of them. Right? But I stopped myself. Why? Because I understand, right? I don't really need it, because the car's just sitting in the freaking garage, right? It's just a want. It's not something I really need, right? And on top of that, right, I know that that Bitcoin that I'm going to save will be worth at least $100 million, right, or more. And you're like, what? $100 million? Where did that come from? Yeah, well, you have to understand, right? It doesn't matter about the dollars, really, number. It's the value you'll be able to get from it, because dollars will be irrelevant in the future. And the reason why it would be worth $100 million is because of the value that AI, right, and the fact that you will get wiped out, most people will get wiped out, but labor still has a price. People will still be needed, just a lot less. And so I'll be able to spend a whole lot less on your labor with my Bitcoins. Do you understand that? I hope you understand that concept. Okay? Because AI will do most of the work. That is coming. If you don't get that, if you do not comprehend that, right, and you go out and spend on nonsense, don't be surprised when you find yourself broke on the have-not side of the balance sheet. Just saying. Okay. So, with that said, you need to learn how to save. You need to I get it, right? Some people who've never had money, right? I know people who've got received a Bitcoin at 100K and immediately tried to sell it. I was trying to help him, and I realized I was doing him a disservice by selling it. I said, no, I'm not going to help you destroy your future self by selling that Bitcoin for you, right? I'm not going to do it. Because I did it for so many people in the past who bought Bitcoin maybe at $300 even, right? $200, right? Even one, my ex-girlfriend lost it all. $1.5 million, right? Lost it all, right? Even though I told her not to do what she was about to do, she did it anyways. And she didn't even trust me to hold her, to help. I said, listen, just let me, I've had your passwords the whole freaking time. I didn't touch your freaking Bitcoin. Why are you going to not trust me? Whatever. It's ridiculous. But anyways, right? It is what it is. People just don't know how to save. They do not know how to save. And this is what I'm going to teach the few people that listen, and going forward, I'm just going to focus on that. Anyways, with that said, I know that a lot of you came here for some TA on Bitcoin, Ethereum, right? And even Solana. So let's get into that right now. As you can see, we have Bitcoin, right, bouncing off one of the parking garage lines. We drew this line from a long time ago. Like I remember, here it is right here. I redrew some more for you guys. We did this a while ago. If you're watching a few shows ago, we realized that, wait a second, there's a parking garage here. Parking garage is because markets like to stay within a certain set of zones, right? From here to here, from here to here, right? When they trade, right? And so thus you can extrapolate that out into the future. Boom. Yeah, you're seeing it now, right? I bet you guys are like, ooh, damn, G, that's crazy. I know. So yeah, there it is. You can see that Bitcoin could break up to here, break down from this line, right? It did that. It held the line, right? Tried to break through, and then finally failed a few times, and then finally broke through, and then went all the way up to the next line. Yeah, dude. Yeah, crazy. And then came back, failed through the line, but then come back up above the line. And this was drawn a while ago. It's not like there's no historical pattern of this price action beyond that line. Past that, there's no past history of that. How did I get that line? Yes, through the parking garages. Boom. Right? So I hope you guys learned something about trading today. And there it is. Another thing you've noticed, right? So we've got the gap, right, coming, right? So the gap is around the just from the breakout level. So don't be surprised if we come back and retest the breakout level. So let's, what did I click on there? There we go. So breakout level is, there it is, right there in the parking garage. Right? I mean, come on, don't be surprised. Right? So, and it has to do it to freak out the people who, who have long-term bets and are like, oh, I'm trading for long-term. I know it's going to go to 150K. Yes, well, it's going to scare you before it goes higher. There's a chance of that. It could go higher and then scare you and then go up, because then that's going to be pretty scary. When it does that, when it goes up to if it goes to the next parking garage, right? It goes above here, 128, right? Or 133, which is a possibility, right? I think there's a distinct possibility of that. And then it comes back here. Oof. You're going to think it's over. Just like, Jesus, that's a huge move, man. But yeah, that is a possibility before we actually go. But most likely, right? We should just break down and retest this area, then go. Right? So be ready for that situation to occur. Looking at Solana, wow. Another parking garage is like, you can see we are bouncing against a specific parking garage. Next level, of course, is the 220. It looks like we're going to break out of that very soon. So if you want to jump in on some longs, I would wait, because look at this. This is overextended heavily on the market. So make sure that you do not jump in, because we've pumped heavily since the lows, the last low here on June 22nd. So that's a big straight up move from till, what is it? Today's a month, right? June 21st, July 21st. So don't be surprised if we come and at least retest to, this is the daily, to 13 EMA. That's not going to be a surprise for me. And then decide if it wants it. It's only 170 there. So not a huge deal. Okay, looking at Ethereum. Ethereum might do something very interesting, because it's probably, let's just take a look at the liquidity. Just for shits and giggles. Yeah, thought so. There's so much liquidity up there. Wonder if they removed it. Yeah, there was so much up there that they had to remove it, else they would have been burned. Oh, it's still up there. It's still a little bit. Oof, yeah. A lot of it's gone, right? A lot of it has disappeared, but there's still a lot up here. So a $4,300 what's it called? Ethereum is in the cards quickly. So be ready for that. Yeah, it's coming, but we should at least come back down to 13 EMA on the daily, because it just went from the FU move all the way up here, like rapidly, like wow, insane. Could Ethereum continue on beyond that? Could it go all the way to, I don't know, let's just say 5,700? Yes, it is possible, but it's going to be a hard road. It's going to be hard. There's going to be a lot of selling going on at the $4,300 level. Loot. Okay. That said, that's it for today. Thank you for watching this channel and watching this information. I think one of the things I really want to hit home with most of you guys is to be able to save Bitcoin for the long run. Don't sell it to buy junk you don't need. You just want, right? That's going to be difficult. And even when you do, really preserve Bitcoin, there will be people out there who say, well, there's a funeral of someone's death. I need to spend that money for that. Or, oh, I'm getting married, so I'm going to spend the money for that. Or, there will always be some reason, and you have to really think, do you need to spend this money? Because things are going to get bad, and you must remember that they're going to get bad for the average person and who doesn't know how to save. And that's the majority of people. Do you want to be the majority, or do you want to be extraordinary? That is up to you. Make a decision now.